Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our COVID-19 Small Business Update. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to join us for what we know will be a very informative session. We are now in the presentation area. You've had a few minutes to network. We are still experimenting with our platform, which is new to us, but quite thrilling. So I hope you like it too. I'm Karen Mortfield. I'm the Executive Director of the Richmond Hill Board of Trade. I'm joined by my team, the wonderful Lisa Chong, Lucy Chen, and Carrie-Ann Naimi-Smythe. We are also joined by a member of our Board of Directors, Jason Cherniak, who's our past chair. And we're also very happy to see Ward 4 Councillor David West, who has been having some technical difficulties, but I hope he has joined us by now. As you know, whatever we've charged for our recent events has been going to our local charities that do so much to strengthen our community. And we are today doing what we can for Hill House Hospice. I'll ask Terry Lynn Young of Hill House to join us on stage to say just a few words. And when I say that, I probably should be doing that myself. Give me 1 second to be good at what I'm doing, which is not actually happening, but there we go.
I think it worked. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Karen, for inviting me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Terry Lynn Young, and I am the Clinical Director here at Hill House Hospice. For those of you who don't know Hill House, we are a 3-bed hospice serving the Richmond Hill community members at the very end of their life. At Hill House Hospice, we believe that leaving this world is just as important as coming into the world. Hill House Hospice has served the Richmond Hill community for over 21 years, and our hospice is funded in part by the government, approximately 24% of our operating cost. The rest is made up from our community, the families in our community, and our sponsors from businesses and so forth. Our goals are comfort care for each of our patients, our clients, our families, everyone who basically walks through our doors. So thank you very much for thinking of Hill House and donating to our home today. Our donations, of course, have been down during COVID. However, we're committed to helping serve our community through this pandemic. And I just really appreciate everything that the Chamber has been doing. So thank you very much for today. I really appreciate it.
Well, I guess that would help. Hello. Thank you, Terry Lynn, for joining us. We're now going to get today's program underway. We will have 3 speakers, as I mentioned. We're going to ask all 3 of our speakers to address us for 5 or 6 minutes or so, and then we'll open it up for questions. So if thoughts occur to you and questions that you want to ask come to mind, please hold that thought just for a few minutes. We want to make sure we get through everyone's presentation, and then we will have what I anticipate will be a lively discussion. Our first speaker is MP Majid Jowhari, who is the MP for Richmond Hill. We're delighted to have him with us as always. And I will ask him to speak first, and then we will move on to the always delightful Daisy Wyatt.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Karen, for the kind introduction. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Majid Jowhari. I'm the Member of Parliament for Richmond Hill. I want to quickly start by doing a land acknowledgement. I would like to acknowledge the land we are holding this virtual meeting and the treaties that we are bound with, as well as quickly thank Karen, the staff on Richmond Hill Board of Trade, for facilitating this session. Next slide, please. As you all know, we are in a very, very difficult times. The slide that you see is really trying to depict 2 things. Number one is that the wave 2 is impacting us and it's having, the cases are rising much faster and in higher numbers. and in a much shorter time. So when you look at the first wave, you'll see that it peaked and then it started leveling, but the rate that it peaked is it's much slower than the rate that it has peaked during the second wave, and therefore we are in a worse situation. And you all know this. It just I wanted to highlight because this phenomena in itself has caused a number of concern, and as a result, many of the support program that they needed to be extended by the government and needed to be revisited. So quickly, if we can go to the second slide, please. Really here, what I want to talk about is that um, this this phenomena has caused a lot of different consumer behavior. Some of those are we're doing a lot more online shopping. We're doing a lot more online meeting, as this being an example of it. We are all working from home. Most of us are working from home, and this has put a higher demand on technology and innovation. As such, there are certain sectors that they're seeing much higher growth, and there are certain sectors that they're not seeing as much of a growth. So really, the recovery based on this, the consumer behavior, and based on what we've seen in certain industries, are leading. Um, uh, Richmond Hill, city of Richmond Hill, had a great meeting, which the CEO of BDC presented a lot of facts. I'm hoping that Anthony will touch on some of those. So I'll be very high level on that. So the sector recovery for us, what we've observed has been very, very different. There are some sectors such as professional services, such as finance, insurance, retailing, and real estate sector, and have been shown a humongous growth, and they're almost back to the pre-COVID, and some of them are a few percentages over. Yet some of other sectors such as energy, tourism, industry, restaurant, foods are taking a huge hit, and they're almost at 50 to 60% capacity. Um, Low interest rate has allowed us um, to support the consumer spending. However, what we see is, despite that, through the government support from all levels of government, the average income household has increased. A lot of people in the middle income earner, what they're doing, they're holding out to their savings. So, in summary, on this slide, really what we've seen the gaps in certain sectors. We'll see the support of various government program levels has helped sustain, and in some cases further help the growth. But the restrictions remains and uncertainty remains, and that is something that we have to kind of build the resilience to be able to move forward. So what I'm going, if next slide, please. So if we're, what I'm going to do, I'm going to very, very quickly cover 4 programs. I'm not going to go into the detail because I'm already into the 5 minutes. So the 4 programs, these are all COVID related. One is COVID related. The other one is federal program that's specific to the Ontario, and some additional information. So next slide. So these are the COVID-19 related program. If Lucy, if you're Lisa, if you can go to the next slide. So here, all these slides are provided, and to Board of Trade, and Board of Trade will provide it to all the members. There are links in there. You could go into the level of detail. But really, what we've done on the small businesses, we focus in 3 different focused on their being able to support them with their operating cost. Another one we've tried, which is like rent, which is some of the working capitals. Another element that we've tried to support the business is really with the retention of the employees through the wage subsidy and extension of the wage subsidy, as well as the third elements that we've done is we've tried to provide access to capital and access to cash to be able to stay afloat. So those are some of you already benefited from the 40,000 and the 20,000 line of credits available, and and some of them are forgivable, so you can get up to maximum of 60,000 with 20,000 of them forgivable if you start paying down the debt. Also, what we've done is we put program around the safety. So if you look at the middle of that triangle is really the PPE support, and for those businesses that fall does not these none of these program fit what we are going to, or they can benefit from, we've introduced the regional relief and recovery funds. Again, all of those are in these slides, and the links are there, so you can get the detail. Lisa, can we go to some of the federal program, please? Next slide. Yeah. So here, really, I'm focusing on BDC and some of the loans that they're available. And what the purpose here is to give you a sense of various program that's available, and also we are trying to make it easier for you to have, aside from the current banks, aside from the financial institution, have another source to be able to benefit from BDC and EDC if you're actually in the scale up phase. Quickly to the next slide. So there are this is the program that I really want to expand. You guys, when you get the slide, look at it, is the Canada Small Business Financing Program. These are loans at various levels that would be able to help you either expand the business or maintain your current operation, in whether it's the purchase of a new building or new equipment, or improve some leasehold improvement, because there are a lot of organization now remodeling their businesses, and they need the funding to be able to support it. Again, there is a link on that one for you guys to look at it. And next slide, please. National NRC, which is National Research Council, is providing a lot of services, and I think Karen just came in to tell me my time is over.
Subtle, aren't I?
No worries.
I want to make sure that
Again,
everyone has a chance to speak. Majid, you've got so much good information on these slides. I'm going to suggest that if it's okay with you, we'd love to bring you back to
sure,
talk specifically about the wealth of federal programs that are available to our businesses.
no worries.
So if that's okay, I'll give you
Absolutely,
a minute to wrap
absolutely.
up, and then we'll move on.
No worries.
Is that okay?
Again, a 30-second. I'll be remiss if I don't also advocate for Richmond Hill Community Food Bank. I have a drive this Saturday, and please, if you can help in any ways, all the donations, food and cash, is going to, or cash contribution is going to the food bank. And thank you, Karen, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Majid. We really appreciate this. This is all great information. I am now going to ask our next speaker to come up. MPP Daisy Y is of course our member of provincial parliament for Richmond Hill, and she will come to the stage in just a moment's time, and we'll move on with our next presentation. Daisy, you'll find that there's an icon at the bottom of your screen for the camera and the microphone. You are agreeing to be a speaker, and then you'll hit both of those things and you'll be on stage with us.
Got it.
There you are. Beautiful. Over to you, Daisy.
Okay. Thank you for preparing the slide, Lisa. I am happy to share with you how we are going to support and help everyone to go through this challenge of COVID-19, especially for the small businesses. Can you click to the next slide, please? Yes. If you refer to the budget that we have recently prepared, you will know that we care for all the businesses, especially for the small businesses. We know that especially these times when we have all out, like we separated the different region into different color codes, just to so that we can all control COVID the best we can. And I understand, like right now, York region is in the reds. So if you are in the reds, please contact us, and we will have special funding that we have put aside to support small businesses with your rent, with your special the utility bills that you have. So count on that. Plus, we are supporting. We understand that a lot of small businesses has to spend extra money on special PPE to support the staff or to support the business that they're doing. So we are giving out 1,000 per company so that we can support them with the PPE. Just recently in our budget, not only with that, we are reducing some of the taxes that we are going to impose on businesses, and we are reducing the electricity cost. So those you can refer in details in the budget that we have, but we understand the need for small businesses, so we are here to help you and support you. And some of you may be saying that, well, if our business is not in a profit situation, how much more tax can you reduce from me? But stay tuned. We are working on supporting just the small businesses. We will be announcing that as soon as we have more things for you. A lot of you realize that we have been working very hard with the federal government, especially like Majid has already presented what the federal government is doing. We're working very closely with the federal government on all these. And in fact, among all the other provinces, we are fighting on behalf of Ontario, the Ontarian businesses, so that we can provide more finance, which is why we have that rent subsidy. And we hear you that we want the rent support to go directly to the business owners, and we are finalizing this and talking with the federal government on this. And at the same time, we're also working very, very closely with our municipal government. Perhaps we can go to the next slide, please. We are working very, very close with the municipal government. The municipal government will be seeing some of the needs of the local businesses, the needs that they have. They can recommend to us some of the things that they will need support, and we will be funding that directly to the municipal government to work together with you. So if there is anything, please continue to. I know my time is limited, so I will not go into details because we have already covered a lot of what we are going to do with the budget. But not only do we care for the businesses, we also care for the families as well. We care for the children because we understand that all of you have been working so hard, and you will have to take care of your children as well. So we are supporting the needs for the children. We are giving per child $200, or special need children will give $250 to the family. So per child. And also we are giving renovation amount of special money up to $2,500 to the seniors. So I stop it at here. I know Karen wants me to stop, and the next one will be on. And I just wish all of you the best. We are here working with you on this. Thank you very much.
Apparently my mic wasn't working yet again. Daisy, thank you.
Thank you.
We will be coming back to you. There are some questions that are coming in that will be directed towards you. And thank you so much for the information you provided to our members.
I'm sorry, I have to attend another meeting. If I cannot answer your question right now, send it to me. I'll definitely respond to them.
And
Okay?
we still have Carly on the phone, and that helps as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Daisy. Our next speaker is Anthony Ierullo. Anthony is the Director of Richmond Hill Center and of Economic Development for the City of Richmond Hill. And we're delighted to have him join us today from not Richmond Hill, but you know what? It is one big virtual world these days. Thank you so much for coming this morning, Anthony.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to be with you. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. I want to start by thanking the Board of Trade for the opportunity to be here with you today to outline some of our programs and initiatives. The city, like the rest of the world, really has been pivoting to respond to COVID-19, and this includes the launch of a number of new initiatives, programs to support local business in order to respond. What I hope to achieve through this presentation is really provide the group with a really high-level overview of what we have so far. So in terms of context, we initiated a Recover Richmond Hill program in April that included the development of an economic recovery action plan to assist businesses to recover from the impacts of COVID-19. This was developed by a Recover Richmond Hill task force that includes representation from 4 levels of government, many of which are on the call today, as well as local business associations. And we thank Karen for being a part of that group. The group is really focused on providing a rapid response to assist local businesses during reopening and pre-vaccine recovery. And it resulted in an action plan that had 10 action items across 3 goal areas. Next slide, please. Okay, so the first 3 program areas that I'll highlight are within the goal of delivering business support programs. So we, in the fall of this year, we launched a business support hotline to provide on-demand support for businesses to navigate through the various programs and get access to support. We continue to make that available to businesses today. It runs every day, Monday to Friday, between 10 a.m. and noon by calling the number on the screen, and there is staff available to directly assist with any of your potential questions or concerns related to any COVID-related or even other issues that we can assist with. In the spring, we launched a webinar series to assist businesses to reopen, and we continue to make that available as a recorded series. A lot of that content is still relevant, and so we'd encourage you to take a look, particularly as we move through the second wave. And we've been trying to create an online resource hub. There's just so much information out there, and it's changing so frequently in terms of programs that are available at the federal and provincial level. So we try to provide a resource that's a one-stop shop to get all the information you need, and you can access that through the link on the screen. Next slide, please. We're also partnering with Shop here to assist local businesses to build and optimize websites and their online presence. We've had 70 odd businesses work through that program so far. And we'd encourage you to continue to reach out to us if you see a need there to assist with developing an online web presence. We just closed our business innovation contest and hope that will generate some opportunities for some local businesses to demonstrate their products and services with the city. We're actively working with a post-secondary partner to launch a new innovation center. This is really meant to be a hub to spur new innovation and entrepreneurship in Richmond Hill, and that is likely to take form in 2021. And then we're also actively working through our small business recovery grant program, which provides $5,000 worth of funding to assist businesses to implement recovery plans. And we'll continue to roll out calls for submissions as long as we have funding. We're going to have somewhere between 25 and 30 grants available. And we've been intaking through that program since August or September. Next slide, please. We've also done some work around outdoor patios and retail areas to make sure that there's opportunities for local businesses to have access to outdoor space in order to serve their patrons. We know that's the outdoor spaces are generally seen as safer with respect to the pandemic, and we're trying to ensure that there's opportunities for that to be maximized. Partnering with the BIA on a Shop Safe Downtown program focused on ensuring that public health information is available, increasing the police presence in our downtown in partnership with York Regional Police, and then making sure that we do our part to keep the downtown clean and inviting. And then finally, in terms of action items from the action plan, we're really focused on working with our partners to launch Shop Local campaigns. And so we've been having ongoing conversations with the Board of Trade and the BIA, and also working with York Region to launch a Shop Local campaign that is likely to launch this week, actually. So next slide, please. So in addition to our action plan, COVID has really created a need in the business community and a lot of opportunities for partnerships. And so we've been really active in trying to pursue those opportunities. So I want to highlight some things for the business community that perhaps are less, have been less promoted than our action plan items. So we're the first municipality in Canada to partner with Freshworks for startups. Freshworks is a large software company out of the US that provides business software to clients across the world. We've been able to secure a partnership with them where program participants can access $5,000 worth of software funding and also access their mentor networks. So if you're interested in that, we'd be happy to facilitate that and provide some access to that program. As MP Jowhari mentioned, we did have an entrepreneurship finance conference last week, and that information is still available on our website. We really saw a need to address the funding challenges that businesses are dealing with generally, but more specifically as it relates to COVID-19. And so we tried to provide a really comprehensive look at what's available through that. Next week, we're doing a government to business information session to assist businesses that are looking to access government procurements. We're doing this with OSME, and we'd encourage anyone who has an interest in that area to sign up and participate. It's a free session. Based on funding from the province, we're participating in the COVID Recovery Network in order to provide a single point of contact across the province online to access to business support programs. We continue to do virtual business consultations. We're likely over 600 consultations since the pandemic started. And we'd be happy to meet with you to discuss anything that we can do to support on a one-on-one basis, either through my SBAG staff or through my coordinators. We're working on a food services accelerator program with Y-Space to support businesses in the food services sector. A new program that'll launch in 2021 is Social Innovation 101, which is an 8-week program that assists not-for-profits to launch their business through our SBAC. We recently launched a film story map to attract film investment to the city, and we have ongoing property tax deferrals of interest and penalties that will be in place till the end of the year that I sort of wanted to highlight. So next slide, please. So that is a bit of a rapid fire sort of summary of the different programs that are available. I know there was a lot there, so if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thanks so much, Anthony. I really appreciate it. What I'd like to do now is bring Majid back up to the stage. And I would bring Daisy, but she's been forced to run off to another meeting. So we'll open it up for questions, which you can pose through the chat function on your computer. We do have a couple of questions that came in during the event itself. Majid, there were questions about the range of programs that are available and whether you think we are going to see the level of government support that has been demonstrated so far continue right through until we have a largely vaccinated population.
So the simple answer is yes. And I'll explain to you why. Because when we look, if you recall that triangle that I talked about, which is basically taking care of your operating costs, whether it's fixed costs or your working capital, making sure that you have support to be able to retain your talent, as well as making sure you have access to the capital in a very safe environment. Most of those program is already extended to June of 2021. So whether it's the wage subsidy, whether it's the rent subsidy, whether it's the access to the fund, whether working with the banks to be able to provide more liquidity, those are the ones that have been extended well into 2021, or at least midsummer of 2021. On the wage subsidy and on the rent subsidy, we're waiting for the Senate to pass the bill C9, and hopefully we can start rolling out those very quickly. But in general, that's the intent, and that's where we are going to go with. Hopefully, we'll evaluate it as we get closer to to probably the springtime, and then reevaluate it again as we get closer to the summer. It is our hope that by then the vaccine is there and we are well into the distribution of the vaccine, and start our journey to recovery for some of the hardest hit sectors.
That's helpful. It's very helpful, and frankly, it's very encouraging, because there's always a concern about the gap between help and things being largely fixed. Anthony, I wonder if I can turn to you for a moment and talk about the range of programs that have been provided through the Recover Richmond Hill Task Force recommendations, and Councillor Godwin Chan was really helpful in sort of spearheading that process. Can you talk a bit about which programs have had particularly robust take-up? And are there programs still out there that people are, for whatever reason, not making use of?
So in terms of the programs that we're offering, I think the program that's received a lot of interest has been our Small Business Recovery Grant Program. We've seen a lot of interest, and we've had just under 60 participants participate in the program to date. So we're seeing a lot of interest in the business recovery grant for sure. We've seen a lot of interest in our shop here partnership as well. We've been flowing a lot of businesses through that program, and that's been very successful. Our business innovation contest, we ended up receiving 7 applicants for that program, which we were hoping on a few more, but in the end, I think there was some quality submissions, so we'll be able to end up with a quality partnership. Areas that perhaps we would encourage people to take more advantage of, our business support hotline has been receiving a fairly steady flow of interest, but the numbers haven't been significant, and we have the ability to service more customers through that program. So I would certainly encourage businesses to take advantage of that. We have staff available on call. I have staff available on call, and I know, Karen, you're available as well to assist as part of that program, and it's really set up to provide on-demand requests. We're trying to make sure that we have staff assigned so that if there's a question or concern, businesses are able to address that quickly, provided that they access the service during those specific hours. And so I would certainly encourage people to take advantage of that. Our website is something that we would certainly encourage people to continue to access. I know when we first started with responding to the situation at hand at the time in March, we were seeing tremendous flows on our website, and they've sort of tapered off over time, likely because there's a lot of information out there and a lot of places to access information. But we do update that source daily to make sure that it's up to date. And so if you're looking for up-to-date information on what's been announced at all levels of government, that's a good resource for people to take advantage of.
Majid, one of the things that tends to make me gloat more than just a bit is when journalists and others point to Canada as an example of a country that is doing so much better than the United States in terms of the per capita illness rate. And then, I mean, we are generally speaking so much better off than most places in the States for a whole host of reasons that we're probably not going to get into today. That being said, we are still looking at the York region in particular, along with Peel and Toronto, being targeted a bit for more stringent measures. The York region has written to the province asking that we be treated with a little more kindness, because we don't know yet whether the measures we put in place have been effective. This would normally be a question that I would address to Daisy, but she's not with us. So I'm going to ask you, do you get the sense that the way the different regions across the country are treating the virus and treating the seriousness of it, do you get the sense that that is enough to deal with the problems that we have as a country?
Thank you for your question. The best way for me to be able to respond to that question is, I think from a acknowledgement from point of view and from understanding that this thing is real and it's impacting our life, and then we need to adhere to certain restriction and certain guideline. I think that awareness is there. I think where the difference or the disparity comes in, that various provinces take different approaches into addressing this. And I believe, again, Daisy would be in a much better position to be able to do that, to answer that question. But I believe it's based on the various guidelines that the health ministries of each one of the provinces provide, and the position that they take as a result of the data that they receive. So, um, given the fact that we are data driven, and given the fact that we take data as the means to be able to make decisions, and the fact that everybody from all levels of government are communicating on a daily basis, it's that that data and the interpretation of the data by various health organizations, by provinces, is the one that's driving this disparity. But this is where I think the Prime Minister had a conversation late last night with all the premiers, and talked about the fact that we need to work a lot more closer and a lot more aligned in being able to put those guidelines in place and be able to adhere to it, and also be able to monitor it and control it. So some provinces, some regions might feel that they are being discriminated against. But at the end of the line, remember, we all have to get to the finish line together. And this is why we have to work together. And remember, this is something new to us. And this is why, as we learn, as we understand, as we share data with each other, there is going to be that discrepancy or disparity, but we're going to work together. We're going to persevere. At the end of the day, we are Canadian, and not only we're doing much better from the case point of view, but also from a recovery point of view. We are way ahead of other G7s in our recovery, especially in some of our sectors, and also from the government program that's being rolled out. So I'll stop there because I see Daisy's back.
We
So
have Daisy
probably
with us
you
for
would want
another
to.
5 minutes. Clearly, you're hopping between meetings. It's the beauty of Zoom and Remo and all those platforms. Daisy, I do want to put something to you. We have just completed a survey of our members. We haven't released any of the numbers yet, but I will tell you that one question that was asked of members was, given the choice between locking down completely for 3 weeks and cleaning things up, or continuing along under modify the lockdown provisions so that there is still some level of business activity continuing. Close to 75% of our members said, let us keep operating. Is that a factor that is driving the province's decisions as to whether or not we're going back to what resembles a full lockdown?
First of all, I have to apologize why I'm dashing in and out, because Say, for example, today, as the number is rising, we are going to make some important decisions today, and I'm supposed to quickly join the cabinet meeting. But now they say we'll postpone it until 1 so I can come back here. And as what our MP Majid Jowhari has said, this is something new to us, and we are very nimble to what is going on. The two principles that we are holding is to make sure we protect our Ontarians, their health, as well as the economy. On one hand, we can, I mean, it's simple for us that we don't have to work like so busy like what we are now. We can just say everything locked down, then, but this is going to create a lot more problems than we have to resolve down the road. The economy, and not only the economy, the mental health, whether it is the business owners or even within families, the parents, the children, it is a lot more serious than we think. The lockdown cannot help us in our hospital as well. We cannot attend to the urgent need of some cases that we need to deal with. So no, we cannot just lock down everything. We are presenting the different stages just so that there are areas up in the north that COVID is not affecting them. We should let them to continue the life and continue the things that they can do. But areas where we see that we have to have a heavy lockdown, or not lockdown, like in the reds, like York region is now in the reds, that we have to do that as a way to remind the people that this is serious. We have to stop what we have to make sure, especially some people are continuing with the parties or there are events. We have to stop it. Just last weekend, I was supposed to go to a special event. We closed it down because we're changing it from the orange to the reds. So there are things that remind people and stop a lot of things happening. Yes, we will continue to do that. But most importantly, we encourage people not to go from one region too much to the other region. Otherwise, we're spreading the germs. Say, for example, last time what we have the control in Toronto, the people come to York region to go for the gym. We don't want that to happen. Let's work together, as what our MP is saying. Let's work together. The sooner we have this control, the better it is for all of us. Let's just be patient and just help each other and work on it. Sorry, I really got to go this time, if you allow me. And yeah, thank you very much, Karen, for organizing this. If you have further questions, do ask Carly to respond or send me the question. Sorry, I got to go now. Thank you very much.
Good luck at the cabinet meeting. I will say that I was really struck by a comment that was made on CNN last night by Anderson Cooper. And I talked about this with my team this morning, where he referenced the bitter irony of those who were killed in action the day before armistice in World War II. And that's a risk that we run, knowing that a vaccine is coming, that there is a sense of being a little cavalier because things are going to get better. You can see that light at the end of the tunnel. And I think what we've heard from all our speakers today is a reminder that we need to be careful and continue to be careful, however painful it is, until we get to the point where we have enough of our population immunized that we're not going to see what we see now in terms of increasing numbers. I am going to ask Anthony and Majid to say a word or two to finish, if you'd be kind enough. And then I'm going to go to Carrie Ann and our shop to just let you know what we're up to in terms of activities that benefit the small business community. And then we'll wrap things up. We have about 9 minutes left before the show is over. So Majid, if we can go to you first, please. And I'm not hearing you. Uh-oh. Majid? Oh, we should go to Anthony? Let's go to you, Anthony.
First off,
Um,
All right, so we clearly have some technical issues here, which could be me. All right, I'm seeing some challenges hearing Anthony, and I'm seeing some freezing on the screen.
Sorry, Karen, can you hear me?
Yes, now you're
Okay.
good.
I think you were hearing Majid in the background. So okay. So first off, thanks for the opportunity to be here with you today. We really want to encourage our local businesses to take advantage of all the available programs. We really see ourselves as a group that can assist not only with the programs we deliver, but also programs that are available at other levels of government. And so we encourage you to take advantage of those opportunities as well as it relates to accessing staff and receiving support. And if you need anything, feel free to either reach out directly or to reach out to a member of my team. We're always there to help and support as best we can.
Thank you so much, Anthony. And I will just say that it has been a real pleasure to work with the city on the initiatives that we're all looking at to get us through what has been a painful process. Just before we wrap up, we have Carrie Ann joining us on stage. Hello, Carrie Ann.
Hi.
I'm going to ask you to just give us an update on what you're working on, because I think we have a number of members here who would benefit from the programs that we have underway.
Absolutely. So right now we are working on a couple of campaigns. One is the Holiday Shop Local campaign. It just really started today on social media. There will be a dedicated page on our website. So if you're a member, you have a deal that you the public. I would encourage you to email me. So I have sent out several emails to many of our members. Second thing that we're working on right now is a new member-to-member discount opportunities. So these will be sent out quarterly through our newsletter. And the details for that are in the last newsletter that Lisa sent out to you. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to send both Lisa and myself an email, and we'll be happy to point you in the right direction.
There we are. Thank you so much, Carrie Ann. And with that, I'm going to wrap up today's presentation. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any further questions that we can forward to our local leaders on your behalf, we're happy to do so. We will be posting today's presentation online, as well as the slide decks that were provided by our speakers. So if you have any questions, you want to just keep track of what's been said and keep an open mind as to what you can take advantage of, please do so. In the meantime, stay safe, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you again very soon.